For over 1,000 years, Western civilization has been stuck in a dark age of sexual repression and misinformation. We get an oversexed overload from the media, but nothing in the way of honest, helpful, practical information on sex and how to do it right. That sucks, and I'm fucking sick of it. My name's JV Altheras, and I've spent a couple decades learning everything I can about how to have amazing sex and more of it. Not in a classroom like a lot of people who talk about sex. I learned it all in the gutter, right where Mom told me I'd end up. It's my mission to bring an end to the sexual dark age with brutally honest talk and education on all aspects of sex and sexuality, in an atmosphere that will keep you entertained without treating you like an idiot. Shara and I are not doctors. Certifiable, perhaps, but not certified in any way. And that means we don't have to talk about vaginas and penises to maintain academic credibility. You got a problem with a vagina? Call a gynecologist. You want to learn more about pussies and cocks and how to make them happy? You've come to the right place. Ending the Sexual Dark Age is now sponsored by the internet's most trusted name in adult toys. A happy pussy likes to play more often. AdamandEve.com is offering you guys half off on your choice of thousands upon thousands of vibrators and dildos and cock rings and strap-ons, nipple clamps, porn DVDs, butt plugs, pocket pussies, anything else you can imagine to either get yourself off or have some fun with your playmate. As always, we highly recommend making sex toys part of your sex life, and right now, AdamandEve.com is only asking for one chance to impress you. They're offering an awesome deal in support of ending the sexual dark age, and the whole thing goes a little like this. By typing Dark Age, all one word, for the offer code at checkout, you will get 50% off the most expensive item in your cart, with a few exceptions, free shipping, 3 free porn DVDs, and a sexy free mystery gift. Free DVDs are selected randomly and added to your order before they ship. AdamandEve.com is willing to damn near pay you to get off. So stop by, enter DARKAGE at checkout, and proceed to collect on an awesome deal. Or just follow one of the links on sexualdarkage.com. And if you like surfing on your smartphone, be sure to check out Adam and Eve's new mobile site. Yes, you too can buy dildos right from your iPhone now, thanks to Adam and Eve. Greetings and welcome to episode 49. How you doing tonight, baby?
I think I'm doing okay.
Think you're doing okay?
I think so.
That's good.
Want to feel me?
Where should I feel you?
Anywhere you want to.
Nipples. Oh, nipples hard. Check.
Okay, then I guess I'm doing really good.
So we're going to start out this show talking about birthdays. And I just realized like 2 minutes ago, that we've actually got a theme going. Because like 2 episodes ago, you got Tim's birthday spankings. And then last episode, it was the show's birthday. And then now we're recording on your birthday, and that's just special.
I hate to admit this, but I think there's 2 other people who had birthdays as well.
But they're not here for me to spank.
No, but they wanted you to give me their spankings.
You know, I did not hear about that. I was not notified.
No, I did.
Oh, you sure you didn't accidentally forget?
I'm sure I didn't accidentally forget.
Oh, look at that! Oh, you are so busted!
No, I did tell you.
But I am proud of you for, coming out with your hands up and fessing up to it while we're recording. That's good.
I did tell you. I'm innocent. Everybody out there can hear. I'm innocent, I'm telling you. Sweet and innocent. Let's take a vote.
Every time we take one of those votes, you never like the way it ends up.
You're right.
So, to start out, in celebration of your birthday, Susie on Facebook had a fantabulous idea. And, as time goes on, the more and more I rely on our wonderful audience to have some of the sick, twisted ideas that I just might not have time to have, or I may be distracted by something. In any case, I really do appreciate your sick, twisted ideas. And Susie's suggestion was that you should get a smack for everybody who wished you a happy birthday. And because I am diligent and thorough, I have gone through your Facebook page and I have noted everyone who wished you a happy birthday on your birthday.
You have?
I have indeed.
Did Susie say anything like, sorry about this, Shara? Did she, have any sympathy for me at all, or no?
She did not. So, just so the audience knows, I already gave Shara her official birthday spankings while I was fucking her earlier. Oh, well, then there's another uncontrollable blush.
Really,
because she prefers to get her spankings during sex.
Okay, so moving
Look
on.
how rosy red you are. That's fucking adorable.
Moving on.
So, also in honor of the fact that, it's just rude to, and we have people out there who would count, it would be rude to publicize a woman's age without asking her first or giving her a choice in it. So your personal private birthday spankings we already had. But luckily for you, we have an entire bonus round of birthday spankings.
Thanks to Susie.
Thanks to Susie and all 49 of the wonderful people who wished you a happy birthday. So in thanks, is my way of saying thanks to all those wonderful folks out in the audience who took the time to say happy birthday to my slave, to show my appreciation and give them a little bit of entertainment. Each one of those folks is going to get a smack with their name on it. So I need you to stand up. And oh, look, I've brought you a pillow so that you can lean over the back of the chair.
Oh, look, how lucky am I? Can I sit on it afterwards?
You certainly can.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna rearrange this a little bit.
And just so everybody knows, you let me think that you just brought this for me to sit on because of my spankings I had the other day. Little did I know you had a, evil reason for doing this.
But shouldn't you really have figured there was some sort of evil subtext?
You're right. I'm thinking of you, and I should think evil.
All right, so we're going to put the chair right there. See, because I need to be able to read off the computer screen. No, you need to come around this side.
Oh, do I?
Yes. So we'll put the chair right there for you so I can easily read.
What happens if you missed somebody?
Well, I don't think I will, but if I have to go back, you know what? That's a great idea. I'll do 2 or 3 extras just in case I miss somebody.
I didn't mean that. I just wouldn't want anybody, if you're going to name names, I wouldn't want.
You're so helpful.
Yeah. Digging my own grave.
All right. Oh, no panties. Good times.
I never wear panties during the podcast.
All right. So, to all of you who were so kind to my slave, the following are for you. That's one for Deb, and Mark, and Bill, and Joey, and Billy, and Lydia, and Raja, and Andrea, Brian, and Jim, Randy, Scott, Laura, and Brad. Let's see, did I already do Brad? Just in case I did. Okay. Christy and Angie and Jay, and Jenny and Paul and Josh and Hudson, Eowyn, Faramir, Mary Ellen, Steve, Bill, Rissa, Jason, Heather, Justin, Oscar, Tanya, Jeff, Vicky, Madeleine, Wyatt, Hank, Zach, Nikki, Chelsea, Raphael, Dino and Daisy, I'm sorry. Dino, I wouldn't want him to get offended. Giancarlo, Boris and Doris, and Dominus, and of course, thank you so much to Susie for having this wonderful idea for a segment.
Yes, thank you so much, Susie. Ouch.
How's your ass doing, baby?
I'm going to need the pillow.
Now, be honest. I did not go that rough on you there.
No, you did not.
Okay.
You would never abuse me.
Spankety spank. Remember a while back when, several listeners wrote us and said that they would like to hear more spankings of Shara on the air?
I want to say no, but sort of yes. But I'd like to say no.
And one more thing I do want to talk about for a minute, just because it was so sweet and made such an impact on Shara. Thank you very much to Billy and Lydia for Shara's special birthday cards.
I love when people are written on. It is a huge turn on for me. So when I saw that with my name on it, I just felt very special.
For those who may not have seen it, it's posted on Shara's Facebook page, but she got a few wonderful pictures from Billy and Lydia of course, Lydia's thighs, which we appreciated very much last time we got to see a photo of them, with a little birthday cake and happy birthday Shara written on her thighs.
I think my face is probably red. I'll admit it right now.
Oh, well then, you get to ding the bell yourself.
Oh, I don't think I could.
Now.
Oh, okay.
Good girl. You're getting so good about fessing up to it.
That was very nice, though. That was, number one, they took the time out of their schedule, which I'm sure is just as busy as many of ours. And to have some fun and to put all of that writing on her and the birthday cake, even with the candle on it. I noticed that, the candle and all. So it was made me extremely wet when I got up in the morning, and there it was staring at me the first thing when I signed on to Facebook. And there it was sitting there waiting for me. It was such an awesome birthday morning. I wanted to go wake you up right away. But I said, wait, no, blowjob doesn't come for a little while yet. So
yes, and Billy was kind enough to share that Lydia was playing with herself while he was posting it, which I mention now, A, to watch Shara blush, and B, to let Lydia know that, I have to imagine, I'm picturing in my head, imagining you while he was posting that, because I have so many times myself posted something that scandalized my slave, but not really, because she really kind of liked it.
Well, as red as I am right now, I will fess up and say that I had to let my fingers wander because it was a turn on for me. So it was very, very nice, and it was hot. Thank you so
an extra
much.
Special thank you to the both of you. And Billy, it's obvious at this point you are a dom after my own heart, because you did to your slave exactly what I would have done to mine in reverse roles.
Yes, a dom after my own heart too, I will admit.
All right, I had to turn the recording off for just a second. Well, Shara, so helpful, can realize that I may have missed someone when I was doing the birthday spanking. So we're going to dedicate Spanks for the Memories to that person when we are wrapping up the show, and I apologize for the oversight. So next, Shara and I did get around to testing out the KY Yours and Mine lube.
We did.
So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about that. Actually, we had kind of mixed reactions to various aspects of it, so I think we're going to be able to give a fairly thorough review because we've used it a few times at this point. The stuff that we got was the edible stuff because, well, I figured
Why
Shara
not?
probably wouldn't mind some chocolate cock. Safe
Absolutely.
bet with most of you ladies. So we got the flavored stuff, the flavored edible stuff, the strawberry for her, and then the chocolate for him. But that's actually one of my first gripes is the packaging is really kind of confusing. Now, and I don't want to make a big deal out of this because I really don't think it would much make a difference. They don't seem to do a whole lot individually until they mix together, so I don't think it really would matter that much which flavor you put on who to the end result. But, the packaging, it's like yours and mine, and it really should be his and hers because yours and mine is totally subjective. Who bought it? And that's what the little vials say. And they do come with this little holder to keep the two together, and I gotta say that was a little bit cheesy. So upon first opening it, I was not terribly impressed. Bad, very pretty packaging, but bad instructions and kind of a cheesy holder. Now, when it finally got to using it, I figured I would enjoy strawberry flavored pussy, and indeed I did. One thing I'll note is that if you try it out, it says on the package it is not intended to be a lube. That said, obviously, it does act as kind of a lubricant, whether it's intended to be or not. It's water-based, and it would not be called edible, I don't think, if it wasn't water-based. But if we have any biochemist listeners, let me know, because I would be curious to have the answer to that question. But it is rather heavy. It's got the consistency of like a heavy lube. It is clear, so it's going to be non-staining and whatnot. But it's got the consistency of a heavy lube, and you will probably want to have a damp cloth laying around to wipe your hands off.
And to get rid of the stickiness.
Yeah, because it was fairly sticky.
My pussy was definitely sticky afterwards, and it never is.
Oh, so let's blame the KY for that.
Yes. Hello. I'm sorry. I have to be honest.
But
okay?
yeah, so it was. Yeah, so I don't want to overstate that. I mean, it wasn't like big sticky mess sticky, but it was like grab a damp towel and wash your balls sticky.
Right. Do I need to lay down a plastic tarp or anything? No, but I'm a clean freak, so
yeah.
I like to be nice and clean all the time, and so sticky doesn't feel good for me. So
Yeah, so we've used it twice, and the first time I didn't use that much of it the first time because the instructions said use a few drops, and we didn't get neither one of us really had that much of a reaction with it the first time we tried it. The second time, however, earlier today was an entirely different story.
I don't know what you mean. Innocently, she says.
Actually, let's back up the truck a little bit. If you look at the commercials,
I hate when you back up the truck. You know that, right? When you're backing up that truck, I know I'm in trouble.
You're not in trouble for anything.
Okay.
In the commercials for it, they say, it's something to the effect of, oh, it feels great just when you put it on, and then you mix it together and kablooey.
Kablooey.
Yeah. So we did. We used it a couple of times, and we didn't leave it on for more than a couple of minutes before we started fucking either time. But I would think, if there was going to be something, you should start to feel it after a couple of minutes. Now, for me, I really did not. I didn't feel anything out of the ordinary with just the chocolate on my cock. Which, if you step back from the conversation a little bit,
yeah,
might as well be talking about ice cream cones here. So I didn't feel all that much. Now the first time you really didn't. The second time, to describe the amount that I used on Shara, I took. The pad of your index finger, cover half of it in lube. And I did that 3 times.
Well, no wonder I was sticky.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, it really wasn't that much,
kidding.
But honestly, it is kind of heavy, so it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit to get it worked around. And I did also make sure to get it up inside you at least a couple of inches.
You sure did.
Now, so there wasn't really. The package didn't provide any information as to what kind of sensations to expect.
Right.
So what we were both looking for was maybe some tingling, maybe some warmth, maybe some this and that. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't feel, there wasn't really tingling or warmth there.
A little bit of warmth, but not much. Nothing that I would say it to write home about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
But we did notice that all of a sudden you did feel super sensitive. I mean, your clit was super sensitive, and me playing with it in the way that I normally do, that normally gives you the machine gun orgasms, was actually too rough for you. And let me tell you, folks, there isn't much that is too rough for this one.
Okay, now. Well, what did you expect me to do? Turn blue?
No, then you'd be the cure for blue balls. But yeah, so it seems, and if we find, we'll keep trying this stuff out. We've got it now, and it's not cheap. I mean, I paid like $16 for it at Walgreens. I don't know if I've mentioned this on either of the recent episodes since I bought this stuff, but dildos everywhere at Walgreens. I'm so proud of them.
You talked about it at the last.
But yeah, so Shara seemed to be extra sensitive, but not, that's kind of anecdotal. There was not any real strong reaction before they were mixed.
No.
Now, when I first started fucking you, again, you were wet when we started, so you just felt especially.
Imagine your shock.
Yeah, you just felt especially wet when I started fucking you. So once we started fucking and the two binary agents mixed together, I started feeling some warmth. Not really any tingling to speak of. And I think you felt the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. For the first couple of minutes?
Yeah,
maybe?
I'd say.
So for the first couple of minutes, it felt like the stuff was just acting like, your garden variety lube, except there was some warmth and some tingling. And as I said, Shara was extra sensitive. So whatever they got in there, it does seem to be doing something. And then there was kind of an interesting conversion in what the lube, and I'll call it lube even though they say it's not lube, what the lube felt like. For the first couple of minutes, it just felt like regular lube, and then it was. I'll describe it from my perspective, and then you describe what it felt like for you. It felt like there was additional friction, but not bad friction. Not like not wet enough. Better grab some lube friction. It was almost as if the inside of your pussy like expanded and got extra sensitive, and you did feel especially tight. So it's like the best way I can describe it is I was feeling more friction, but it wasn't in any way bad friction.
All I know is when you put your cock inside of me, I just,
You did kind of lose it.
I did. But honestly, the last, I don't know, month or two, our sex fun has been like so different. Yet, I mean, it's always been good, obviously, but it's been extremely like, wow. It has, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, okay, let's not go to work today because let's have some more sex. Okay, we know we have to go to work today, but let's not go to work today because let's have some more sex.
Let's go to work late and have some sex.
Yes.
It's been wonderful.
Let's leave at lunchtime and go have some sex. And, okay, let's go home early. So basically,
Oh, lunch at my place.
Thank goodness it's right by the shop. But anyway, so I think that for me, well, I want to back up a second. I think it was at that moment that I, like, before we ever put any lube on or anything, I forgot what I was doing, and I just went to, like, do something, and I touched myself, and I was soaking wet. And then I went over to you, and I'm like, look, and it wasn't like we were talking about having sex or anything like that. It was like a regular, I don't know, work day or something, and I was, like, soaking wet. Do you remember that?
I remember that. However, I need to share something with the audience here and make a bit of a public service announcement. When you're around Shara all the time, so this is for benefit of all the ladies and gentlemen, lords and ladies, pimps and pipettes that might be out there. When you spend enough time around Shara, you get used to hearing the words, "I am so wet." I'm serious.
Well, but I was like soaking.
Well, and I understand that, but I just want the audience to understand that, like, you using that phrase is not like alarm bells don't go off. I mean,
okay.
It's not like something I don't hear 3 times a day, no matter what.
I know. You're used to me being wet, but don't you agree that I was like soaking wet that day?
Wet,
I mean,
yes.
And we weren't
all
talking.
Fucking with you aside, you were especially wet that day.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't talking about having sex or anything like that. And, I mean, I knew we were probably going to, especially after you touched me and agreed that I was soaking wet. But I like that. It's all natural, and it's like when we use the lube, because we don't need to, because I'm usually soaking wet, and if I'm not soaking wet, we just lick your cock and then I become soaking wet and it's all good. So I didn't really enjoy the lube, as I'm not saying it was okay, but I didn't really enjoy it because of the fact that you usually can, as tight as I know that I am, you can slip in there it's perfect. And so it's like, we don't need the lube. So I was willing to try the lube and everything.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, because that is certainly relevant for all the guys and girls out there. Girls, it seems that if your man's dick is as big as you want, or maybe a little bigger than you want, you might not want to use this stuff. Because that's one of the... I should have been rolling tape while we were fucking. Because we were like, we'd pause for a second in between strokes. We're having an analytical conversation about the KY. It really was fun.
Well, I got to say... okay, I hope Ginger doesn't mind me mentioning her name on here, but...
Oh, yeah, Ginger would be just scandalized.
But Ginger came through my head while we were doing the analytical part of it, because I thought, this is probably what she would do. She'd be discussing it with like, okay, now what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And even though she's having a great time, she'd still be like, okay, we got to discuss this and figure this out. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, she might not, but she popped into my head,
Yeah, so it does. I mean, it does definitely seem to have the effect of swelling up the vaginal tissues, not in a bad way, but swelling them up a little bit. So making the pussy feel a little bit tighter, making the cock feel a little bit bigger, in addition to creating some additional sensitivity in and of itself. The binary agent seems to create some additional sensitivity.
And I gotta be honest, the chocolate was okay, but it wasn't chocolate for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm a chocoholic.
Right, yeah, no.
So,
well, and usually when we think of chocolate, we think of milk chocolate, because that's kind of the standard in the U.S. I mean, that's or chocolate fudge or something like that. Whereas this is, I did taste both of them. This is more of a cocoa flavor, So
okay, I kind of was thinking like of something about like a syrup for pancakes and that.
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, there was definitely chocolate flavor there, but like people used to tease me when I would walk home, from high school with my friends, and two of us would stop at the Dairy Queen on the way, and I'd get a half fudge sundae every day, and they'd get mad because I was like, 92 pounds, and they're like, they called me bitch and stuff like that. But I mean, chocolate.
Get your skinny ass out the Dairy Queen.
So chocolate for me, that's the kind of chocolate I want to taste. And I realize that it's lube and that's not going to be the same. But to say chocolate, I mean, I could taste a little bit of the chocolate there, but it was more of a syrupy.
Yeah. It was an overtone.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think? Because
Definitely.
So
I mean, it does. Yeah, it certainly doesn't taste like chocolate syrup or anything. It's more of like a raw, unsweetened cocoa flavor. Just probably because something you're going to stick in a pussy is not going to have any sugar in it, because that'll almost guarantee to cause a yeast infection. So they're not going to be reckless and do that. So if anything, there might be a cunt hair of artificial sweetener, pun intended, in there. And then I think some probably natural cocoa extract or some imitation cocoa extract, whatever.
So anyway.
Oh, and how did you enjoy licking the chocolate strawberry cock clean after I was done fucking you?
It was okay, but I mean, I so enjoy licking your cock after a blowjob. I'm sorry. I so enjoy licking your cock clean after you pull out and you walk around for me to lick it clean. I enjoy it because the mix between you and I is good. You know what I mean? It's a great taste. So I love that taste. So I don't really need the other.
Right.
And so it was okay, but I would be honest, and I prefer our natural juices, so to speak. So.
Yeah, so I think my overall rating on the KY, yours and mine, on a scale of 1 to 5, is probably about a 3.5, and it would be a 4 if it wasn't for the crappy packaging.
4 being good.
4 out of 5. Yeah, it would be a 4. It would be 4-star rating if the packaging wasn't crappy, but it's a 3.5-star rating because the packaging is crappy. What do you think?
I'd probably between a 2 and a 3.
Okay.
But like I said, I have such a good time being fucked by you with just the all natural juices and everything else that, for me, I don't like the sticky. And again, like you said, it wasn't like anything horrible, but when we're all done, I go and clean up, and it's not sticky, and so I just like the all natural. So it's not their fault. I think that it was okay,
right?
But
you did say that you had a kind of orgasm that you never had before.
Correct. However, to be honest, our sexual positions have been, you've been playing with them a lot lately. And so I've had some pretty hot moments this last month and a half because we've been trying different positions, just because we felt that we should for our audience to be able to report.
Yes, it was entirely for the benefit of the audience.
Absolutely. Correct. So that, and just to, give me time not to read 50 Shades of Grey. But
well, since you you give 2.5 stars?
Yes.
Okay, so you give 2.5 stars, I give 3.5. And I should say the sensation difference it wasn't like, whiz bang, all of a sudden this feels better than it usually does.
Yes, the fireworks were not going off like
but I do give it a decent rating because a part of my sexual satisfaction is watching you come like a machine gun, and in this case, a rapid-fire howitzer.
Well, maybe I have to give it another try. We have only tried it twice.
We'll certainly try it again, and we should.
I'll be fair.
We should probably try the inedible stuff because I'm guessing it might be a little bit higher octane because it doesn't need to be edible.
Okay, well,
so we'll give that a shot.
Let's try it.
But yeah, so guys, don't expect any super whiz bang sensations, but. I did draw some satisfaction because I think you did come a little harder than you usually do, but we'll have to do some more testing to be sure.
We could do a replay.
But yeah, I mean, for $16, it's probably worth trying. Obviously, your mileage may vary.
We could replay.
Of course.
Okay.
All right, so what was it that you mentioned in passing a second ago? Oh,
50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
Keep me busy so I can't read 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, so we're...
Everybody keeps asking me.
We have been asked by a number of people in the audience now to give a rating on, various things, but the general sense is a lot of people in the audience would like our opinion of the realism level in 50 Shades of Grey, of the kink that's going on. So we are, because we fucking love you guys, because if we didn't, trust me, we wouldn't. We are going to at least read the first quarter of the book, or far enough in to get a sense for what's really going on, and we may finish it, but people whose opinions we respect have already told us that they consider it to be fairly terrible. So I won't be reading it with the expectation of enjoying it. I'll be reading with the intention of doing an analysis of realism.
Right.
So it'll be an intellectual exercise.
Correct.
But yeah, so that will be coming as soon as I can borrow the book from a friend of mine, so we don't have to spend money on it.
But I have to tell you, it's funny. Like, I go out with a group of vanilla friends or my sisters, and and different occasions, different people all the time, and it's so funny to watch somebody pull out the 50 Shades of Grey while you're at a restaurant. Okay, you're at a restaurant, you're out for a luncheon with, in this case it was sisters, and my sister pulls her book out proudly she was going in her purse to get something else out, and she pulls the...
Go ahead and finish. I'm holding it.
I see that. I mean, he's shocked me here. His mouth is hanging open. Anyway, so she pulls out the book to go in to get something else out, and she pulls it out because, for whatever reason, and I'm going to myself, oh my gosh, really? So if all of these people out there that are housewives that are getting turned on by these books, okay, by this book, and they're getting turned on and they keep on purchasing them instead of sharing. By the way, here you go. When I'm done reading it saves some money. Nope, they all go out and buy their own because they have to have their own book. So what you're saying is...
Well, that's because of the girly jizz fingerprints on the pages. They don't want to...
Oh, true. So what they're really saying, though, is, I'm turned on by this, and so I really like it. So what they're really saying is, now that they got their feet wet, they probably could dabble into it a little bit deeper and enjoy it better.
What just occurred to me, just as you were talking about seeing your sister pull her copy out, after we read into that thing a little bit, we can totally troll people in real life. Totally. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, I don't know specifically any of the scenes yet, but can you imagine, like, if you pulled that out, if your sister pulled that out and you leaned over and said, hey, what do you think about the anal sex scene with the handcuffs? We could totally troll people in real life. Because if you're walking around with it in public, hey, that's an invitation for conversation.
Oh, I was ready that day. Because,
We'll just have to see if we can get that recorded if you decide to do it.
I was like...
I'll have to get a mini dictaphone. No, we got apps for the phones.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to lean over to her and say, honey, why don't you come with me and I'll show you what it's really all about. That's what I really wanted to say. But in fairness, I'm only getting hearsay from people that we respect about the book, and so I haven't actually read it, so I kept my mouth shut.
Right. Yeah, so we will be talking more about that. Maybe the next show, maybe the one after it.
Okay.
As I said, I gotta get a copy borrowed from a friend, so I don't have.
Do you want me to ask
spend
my
money
sister?
Sure.
Okay.
Then you could be sniffing the pages.
Ooh, it's my sister.
Oh, if you guys could only see the look that was just on her face, it was glorious.
Oh.
So, are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
Quickly.
So, moving on. We're getting to an actual listener question for this show.
Okay.
Wet and Thankful writes on the website, thanks for the chat about squirting. My hubby of 12 years and I just discovered my wonderful talent and are fully enjoying it. Since he has been my only partner, I was glad to hear that this is enjoyable for lots of men. I certainly love this, but I'm looking for other ways to please him and return the favor. But he won't share any ideas with me. Any suggestions of where to start? Thanks, Wet and Thankful. Well, Wet and Thankful, it's always fantastic to hear from someone in the audience whose sex life has been measurably improved by the show.
Exactly.
And I am going to, if you have not listened yet to episode 10, as you said in an earlier part of your letter, you just discovered the show, I would suggest going to listen to episode 10. Artfully entitled, The Art of Smoking Pole. After listening to that episode, you will realize a few things, which I'll give you in the Cliff's Notes version. When it comes to showing appreciation to a man, with very rare exceptions, say it with blowjobs is really a pretty reliable starting point.
Absolutely.
And especially random, unsolicited, surprise blowjobs. Because when a man wakes up in the morning and he goes out and he has some breakfast and he's getting ready to go to work, and his girl says, "Oh, baby, hey, hang on a second. Let me blow you before you go to work. That man is wearing a suit of spiritual armor for the rest of the day. Nothing's sticking to him. Nothing.
I agree.
And he's walking through work going, none of you motherfuckers got a blowjob this morning, did you? And really, whether he realizes it has that effect or not, and it's the same effect that surprise head for women has on women. Women tend to apply their own personal level of complexity to us. And they tend to project their own level of complexity. In a lot of ways, we really are fairly simple creatures. And random, unsolicited blowjobs will improve a man's standard of living measurably.
And hopefully you enjoy giving a blowjob as much as I do. I love it. So that's one of the things. And if you don't, then, let us know. But that is one of the things that I have to say. I've known a few men who said, my wife refuses to give me a blowjob. I want one so bad, and she refuses to give me a blowjob. And obviously, unfortunately, sometimes it results in them looking elsewhere. And I hate to hear that, because honestly, if you set your mind to it, for the majority of women, you can really get into it. You can really enjoy it.
Yeah. And also remember, don't let yourself start feeling like, he's doing these wonderful things for you and you're somehow failing him if you're not, going way, way out of your way. Bear in mind that making a woman squirt also makes a guy feel like a superhero. I mean, it's like sticking your dick in a slot machine and winning the jackpot. I mean, it really is like, ooh, I made that happen.
Well, remember what she said, that she was glad to hear that it is enjoyable for lots of men. So he is getting enjoyment out of it too.
Oh, certainly.
So you're right.
Yeah, so that. I want to reinforce that,
right,
basically. Because
that is enjoyment for him. But I agree with JV. I think that if you surprised him with a blowjob, maybe you waited till he comes home in the evening and you have candles lit and, you just decide to, get him all.
Or, I personally, I can't speak for her husband, obviously don't know him, but I personally love the casual approach. Like, just walk up into the kitchen and nudge him with your elbow and say, hey, baby, got time for a blowjob?
Did I ever do that to you? No, just kidding.
Well, you offer to suck my cock plenty, but I mean, like that totally casual, just, hey, mind if I suck some? Hey, baby, mind if I suck some dick? That's that.
Well, then he might want to say whose dick. Nice mind if I suck some dick might mean the guy down the street.
Semantics.
Well, I know, but you would get me on semantics.
Yes,
if it were. Oh, yes, you would.
But yeah, so, and hopefully, it's great that you are finding a reinvigorated interest in sex. It's fantastic that you're having new experiences and that you want your husband to have some new experiences too. And, odds are, don't keep after him about it or anything. But, the once in a while, you want to do anything else to me is probably a gentle way to kind of nudge that along. And it may just take him a little bit to open up to the idea that you're really open to new ideas.
And I think the biggest thing is to have fun with it. And it sounds like you're really enjoying this, and just keep it in that mode, because I really think that part of the most enjoyable part of sex is the passion and the fun. And they kind of go hand in hand. And if you're having that much fun, you're just going to keep wanting to look at new things to do and to enjoy new things. And so will he. So if you're surprising him, he's going to enjoy that. There's some people don't like surprises, but when it comes to sex, I can't really imagine, them not enjoying some part of an, surprise.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, some might not like when you bring that extra third person or fourth person in, but other ones do. But, a blowjob, I can't picture any man, going, oh man, I don't want that.
Well, exactly. And so, for various reasons, some guys, this is one of those things I comprehend, but I do not understand. For some guys, it's possible that those guys have had a lack of really fantastic blowjobs in their lives. But most guys are big fans. And saying it when you want to say thank you to a man, when you want to say, honey, you're special, when you want to say, honey, I appreciate the things you do for me, say it with blowjobs. And
you know what you do? After you do the blowjob, have them listen to this podcast and say, I took this to them and because I really want to make you happy. And he would probably be turned on by that.
Yeah, a lot of guys would be. Of course, she'll know better. She'll know better herself. But,
Yes.
So wet and thankful. Hopefully we have answered your questions. Stay soggy.
And let us know.
Yes. So next up, we have a post from Lexi on the website. Lexi writes, recently I've lost a lot of weight and suddenly it's like a switch has been turned on. My libido is in overdrive and it's kind of making my husband nervous. Since we have great communication, I have told him things that I have thought about, like what I think the faces of random strangers would look like when they're coming. The problem is, although we've done swinging briefly years ago, and I had a second husband a few years ago, it's like now I am judging myself by how many potential partners I can keep on the hook. Any suggestions so I don't drive myself crazy?
Well, first of all, there's the weight loss, and that does a lot, which I know you're going to talk about that. But that does a lot for people's self-esteem, and then it also can do some things to the partner in terms of, I don't want to say jealousy, but they might not be in the same place as you, or they might already be very well fit and so forth.
Yeah,
but
it may also be a little bit of insecurity if they think, he may be a little bit concerned as to whether or not he can keep up with his new sex drive.
Right. I think one of the most important things is the communication, which it sounds like you have that. One of the things that I also think is difficult is change. Although you did swinging before, even if you said briefly, you did it, but he may not have liked it. These are questions that, you have to ask yourself and find out where his comfortability is. He might not want to go back to swinging. And sometimes it's just the fear, did he like that? Did he enjoy it? Was he equal participating in it? You have to kind of be on the same page when it comes to swinging, I think. You have to kind of be on that same page. But I also think that if given enough time to get used to the fact that, number one, you're doing great and you have weight loss, where is his head at? Is he happy with his body? Is he wanting to lose weight? Maybe get involved if you're going to the gym. Maybe see if he wants to come along with you. Let him know that he's the most important thing to you, so that if you do decide to go back to playing and you both agree to it, he knows that he's just as important to you as he was before. And I think that he's probably seeing people look at you differently now because you've lost the weight, and that tends to happen because a lot of people, tend to judge if somebody's heavy or whatever, might not look at you, and now you've got this attention. But again, we don't know if he is in the same boat. Was he heavier and, was he at one time nice and fit, then became heavier and he hasn't lost weight?
Yeah, and that's info we don't have.
Right. Or has he always been fit and is he still fit? So if he is heavier than he used to be, he might be feeling insecure himself because he sees you doing something about your weight loss, but he may not have done anything about his. So maybe getting him involved with that a little bit. And if you are thinking about going into swinging because you have the open communication, if you are thinking about that, some baby steps, I think, because get somebody used to it. A lot of people don't do well with change, but if it's done correctly.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree entirely. And whatever relationships change and people change as they age. So, if you did swing before for a while and you stopped for whatever reason, I would say, revisit whatever reason you stopped and see if that's something that's still in effect. But if you decide to dabble back in it, approach it like you are newbies again, because you're approaching it from a different place than you were at whenever you started doing it before.
Right. And making sure he's comfortable with it as you, and, what rules are you going to set for yourselves, and make sure you don't break those rules. And it sounds, though, that they have a great communication, because being able to talk to him about it,
absolutely.
But she's also talking about herself and driving herself crazy. I tend to have a very high sex drive. And so, I do a lot of masturbation, dildos and whatever in between. And I'm extremely happy.
And you fantasize about fucking random people that you happen to walk past in the checkout line or something.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so, when you ring the bell, they know I lied.
Right. Well, they probably already knew you lied.
And,
we're almost 50 episodes in.
And, the other thing, not to get off track here, but the other thing that I don't like is I can't lie to you because my face turns beet red. I can't lie to you. I don't like that. I should be able to.
I like it.
I should be able to get away with something once in a while.
You get away with plenty because I allow it. You are the worst liar ever, though.
I know. But I think that's a good thing, not to be able to lie.
I think it's a good thing. It's a convenient thing for me.
So anyway, back on track.
Yeah, so, and my perspective is a little bit different on this. I'm going to come at it from a little bit of a different angle. I do agree with everything that you said. I just want to add some stuff here. And this is kind of from a philosophical standpoint. Over 60% of America is overweight. We are a fat country. There is no way around it. It is a medical fact that being overweight suppresses your sex drive. And then losing weight. So losing weight is not your sex drive going up. It is your sex drive returning to a place where it would have been all along if you had been physically healthy all along. So what you're feeling now is natural. So it's instead of seeing it as a big change.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you too much, but I think that you're partly correct on that. But I would like to hear a little bit more, maybe from medical expert. My thing about that is that if you gained weight and you lost weight, yes, I agree with that about the sex drive, but also you have this heightened sense about you because you've lost. You gained weight, you looked at yourself in the mirror and you might not have liked what you were seeing. Now all of a sudden you're getting to a better place, maybe even better than you were before. And now all of a sudden that's a big turn on for yourself. You're turned on at what you're seeing in the mirror compared to what you were seeing. So you see what I'm saying? It's an added.
Yeah, I mean, there is that too.
Do you agree with that or no?
I do agree with that.
Okay.
You're going to feel a confidence increase. And one of the reasons you're going to feel a confidence increase is one of the things that we don't like to talk about in this country with interpersonal relations. Mostly, I think, because so many of us are overweight. And I should say, I have been severely overweight at points in my life. I was a fat kid.
Right.
And when I was a teenager, I lost all kinds of weight, and all of a sudden the girls were noticing me. And it was fucking game on. And it was so different after I lost the weight. So I really can relate to what you're talking about here. And what I have discovered, and I've certainly have not been in great shape my entire life either. You know, I've had a little bit of the roller coaster, and once you've been significantly overweight, it's difficult to stay skinny. But people are just nicer to you when you're skinny, and that feeds into, I think, the confidence. You know, the person at the checkout or the person at the customer service counter is more likely to go out of their way for you. More people smile at you. More people do nice shit for you. And it's hard to quantify, but I can tell you for absolute sure that out in the world, the general public is way nicer to me when I'm in shape than when I'm overweight. So feeling that, you're definitely feeling something different with your interactions with everybody in the world, probably, than you were when you were overweight. And also, you're more confident, and people respond in different ways to confidence than they do, when you're less confident because you're not feeling good about yourself. I am going to speculate that specifically something you said is that you're now judging yourself by how many potential partners you can keep on the hook. I do get that, and I get exactly what it means. And I'm going to speculate that in some ways, because you're probably getting different reactions from the people around you, it's like playing with a new toy. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't necessarily be too concerned about that, because you say you seem to have great communication with your husband, and if that continues, let it be a game for yourself. But being able to get people to do things for you because they're attracted to you is just life in the jungle, baby. I mean, that's life on the third rock from the sun. So you're more able to do that probably now that you've lost a bunch of weight and you're feeling way more confident. So have at it, just understand it's a game you're playing, and you've got your rules with your husband and what you're both comfortable with. Don't break those rules, but have fun entertaining yourself within those bounds.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. And I think we're just about ready to wrap this one up. I do want to spend a couple more minutes talking about the new Facebook page and our revamps on the website. Shara and I have been doing a lot of talking about the way we're doing things on Facebook and the way we're doing things on the website. And for a long time, the website was someplace I would post the occasional sex news piece or once in a while something funny. It was mostly just there as a central place for people to go and find the podcast. And we decided to try an experiment that seems to be going very, very well so far. And that was to make sure that every day we posted some funny sex pictures and some sexy women and some sexy guys and some sexy couples, like at least one a day, and, fetish pics. And this is all tasteful stuff. I mean, I won't necessarily say safe for work, but I mean, no nipples, no genitals showing, no penetration, mostly art photos and more on the sensual side than the actual sexual side. But a lot of really funny sex pics. And we have decided that we want sexualdarkage.com, and also by association, our Facebook page for Ending the Sexual Dark Age, to become the internet's finest repository of funny sex pictures. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've posted a lot over the last few weeks. And honestly, we go out, we surf around on the web for this kind of stuff. And I would say our repository is approaching the quality of anything we found anywhere else at this point.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think it's good that we both tend to laugh at the same stuff, but each one of us would pick different funny stuff out of a pile if you gave us the same pile of funny stuff.
Yes, and I have a new friend on Facebook. Well, I mean, we've been on Facebook in terms of friends for a while, but we've kind of been going back and forth, and it's so funny because Deb and I would have the exact same idea. Like, all of a sudden I go to post it and she's already posted it. I mean, like, literally sometimes just seconds before I was going to go post it, I go, damn, I have to now wait and repost that later, because not all of my friends on Facebook and when we're doing Sexual Dark Age, Ending the Sexual Dark Age, not a lot of your friends aren't on my friend list. And,
right.
So a lot of them don't know of Deb, but her and I have a lot of fun, just putting the stuff out there, and I'll go, oh man, she's on the same page as me. So it's kind of fun because she has quite a library herself, and she's offered and said, go ahead, Shara, and help yourself if there's anything in there that you want, and, feel free. And she's been very generous. So I really want to thank Deb because she's been wonderful about that. So
yeah, and thanks from me as well. And we have had, in the last week or so, kind of the magic has started to happen. We've had some listeners, sending us funny sex pics on the website, sort of emailing us funny sex pics, posting them on our Facebook pages, and that's awesome. And we'd love to have more of you guys. When you see something that's, sex related, that's a funny picture or something funny or funny saying, we would love to have you post it on the Facebook page. And we will repost it on the website with credit, repost it on Facebook with credit, and give you some credit for bringing us the funny, because we always appreciate the assistance. So right now what we're trying to do, we started up the Ending the Sexual Dark Age Facebook page, the official podcast and website Facebook page. So we would appreciate anything you guys can do to help us get people to click like on that page and make it a little bit more popular. I think we've got something great going on there, especially considering a lot of the other pages on Facebook. And most of the stuff that we're posting on Facebook and posting on the website is also going out through either my Twitter feed or your Twitter feed. So we're just trying to engage a little bit more. We have a lot of fun interacting with the audience, so we're trying to be able to do a little bit more of that. And the fact that it promotes the show and promotes the website is just kind of a special added bonus. But as of now, if you come to Facebook and search for the Ending the Sexual Dark Age, you will get to the page. And you will find funny pictures, a hell of a lot of funny pictures, a hell of a lot of sexy pictures. We try to do sex-related news items as well. So we want to kind of try and be a place where if you want to, you can come spend 5 minutes a day, getting a little bit turned on, having a couple of laughs, and staying informed on what's going on with sex in the media. Exactly. So we hope you decide to join us there.
Please do.
And is there anything else before we do the wrap-up here that you want to say to the audience?
As always, I just want to thank them for listening and for, sharing their thoughts and questions. And we still have a lot of questions, so bear with us. We're playing catch up, but we'll get to them all.
Yes, we will. So, you should see the way she's looking at me right now because she knows what's coming. So please feel free to contact us with any questions, comments, feedbacks, tirades, or whatever. You can send us messages on Facebook. You can send us messages through Twitter. You can find us on FetLife. You can come to sexualdarkage.com and post pretty much everywhere. We see whether you're responding to an old post or whatever. We see, both of us see every comment on the website. So if you ask a question somewhere, we will find it. Or you can email jvaltheros@gmail.com or jvshara@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. Yeah, we're sluts. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. But I have to admit, though, we're not very good at FetLife.
We're not. We're failing FetLife. You're doing much better than I am.
Well, I'll go in and I'll check and see if there's something. But
yeah, so I'm sure that there are a couple of questions on FetLife that have not gotten into the rotation yet. We apologize for all that.
Well, I have those written down, the questions that came in. But I'm saying I'm not as good about. We're not as good about going on there and checking it like we do Facebook and all that. I'm going to try and do better, but. We've just been extremely busy at our business and getting the Facebook page going and all that. So I will get better. I've been pretty bad at Twitter, but I'm trying to do better.
I know you are. Yeah, you are doing better. Mm-hmm. We're trying to be more organized instead of, screwing around on Facebook. We're just trying to get better, cooler stuff out to everybody in a more sensible fashion.
Yes. I do have a system on the pictures and everything that I put out.
Oh yeah, as do I. We have adjacent but different systems.
Yes.
That live in 2 folders next to each other on the hard drive.
Yes. But, and I think sometimes they want to combine themselves and have a lot of, think about, I think they go, wow, JV's, getting a lot of fun with Shara. And my folders are saying, wow, Shara's getting a lot of fun with JV. And
are you saying your folders want to get fucked, baby?
I think that's what I'm saying. Well, just think about all the hot women and hot men that I've put in folders.
Oh, if that was if the folders were like a hotel room or a nightclub, well, there'd be some good times going on.
Let me tell you, some of those things that I post on
that's actually an idea for a short story.
Some of those men, I mean, oh my God, it's like, oh, you are fuckable right now, buddy. Just come to life for me right now. I go, JV, that's the third one we want in the picture here for a little while. Will you go get him for me?
Shara's got girly wood for every single guy she's posted on Facebook so far.
Yeah, I have to say, yeah. Some more than others.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's got girly wood for every single sexy person she's posted on Facebook.
Okay,
so
true.
Far.
And I have to say, when I do the hot couples, okay, and of course, not everybody's idea of a hot couple is the same as mine. So they're not going to like the same thing that I like. But I have to tell you, I have seen some really 2 guys together, 2 women together. And I typically, don't see a lot of men with men being passionate.
No, it's kind of taboo. And I have told you, I encourage you when you find those shots to post them, because I think the gay guys in the audience would appreciate having someplace they can go for funny stuff and sex news and also something that's a little bit titillating.
Oh, and the women would still enjoy seeing the 2 hot men together.
Exactly. I think it's a win-win, and I really don't think, I don't think anyone that would come to our website or our page would be offended by it. I just don't think.
Oh, no, it's not that.
I don't think that's statistically likely.
It's not that. I put hot couple out there, and I started doing the male and the female, and then I started coming across when
we can occasionally do the hot girl on girl, the hot man on man.
I'm going to, because let me tell you, there are, whichever you prefer, you
guys should see how excited she looks right now. Yeah. You really should.
Oh my God. Wait, I think I'm going to put one up tomorrow. Maybe yet tonight. I don't know. Because, tell you, some of them are just
She's
hot.
She's going to be body checking me away from the computer in like 2 minutes. She's just here. But before we can actually sign off.
And just so you know, I think I'm going to try posting some of those in the next few days.
Okay.
So maybe not as soon as you get off the computer.
Before we can actually sign off, we have to get back to my failure to include an important person in the list earlier. So, Patty, since I forgot to give you a spanking for Shara, and she was such a good girl as to raise her hand and say, Master, I think you forgot somebody.
You know what? She's so sweet. I love her. I think she's a real sweetheart.
Well, so we're going to make sure that, and she asked if you could get her birthday spankings, which seems to be becoming a trend. It's fine with me. She asked if you could get her birthday spankings, but I pretty much tenderized your ass so far today. So I think the appropriate thing to do is to close out the show with spanks for the memories and dedicate them to Patty. And Patty, I am not going to count off the spanks. I don't know how old you are, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to cover it.
I know how old she is, but I never tell.
Whip out the fun bags, baby. Oh, yeah. No, get a little closer. Get a little closer. We do a sound check here. Yeah, no, that's not really a D. Yeah, there we go.
I think you're just trying to get a little extra spanks.
I think I get to spank as many times as I want to anyway. So, Patty, these spanks for the memories are dedicated to you. Thank you so much, and you are welcome for giving Shara your birthday spankings. As to all the rest of you and everyone else within the sound of my voice and the sound of these slapping titties, this be me, JV Altheros, reminding you that sex is one of the greatest things in life, and there is always room for better.
Happy birthday, Patty.